Hey, my loves. Happy Monday. Happy Labor Day. Um, Come on in here and let me tell y'all this tea. Because your girl done been tested by a narcissist. And I wasn't tested by who I thought I was going to be tested by. I got a new narcissist through in the mix on me. So sit back. I'm gonna tell y'all the story. I'm gonna give it to you in parts because I ain't got a whole lot of space on this device or whatever. So it'll cut off on us. So we gonna try to. I'm gonna break it down as much as I can, but I'm gonna try to get as much as I can in these videos. Okay. So yeah, let me go and tell y'all what happened. So y'all remember I was doing those dinners last month, right? Well, yeah, for not last month, but in June, right before I went back to work. So I was selling those dinners, the chicken wing dinners, okay? So I'm gonna tell y'all how it started, okay? So I met this guy on June 17th at a gas station that I was not actually intended on going to. So that day, I was on my way to go and pick up all of the materials I needed for the dinners that I was gonna be selling. Okay, so my plan was to hit this gas station that's right down the road from my house. You know what I'm saying? Gas up there and then go up the road to the meat store. Well, when I got in the car, started driving or whatever, I got sidetracked somehow and I ended up passing by the gas station right here on my road. So it's no biggie because there's another, the same exact gas station because I want to use my rewards or whatever. Since I passed the one that I was originally going to go to, by the time I realized I had done passed that gas station and then go and get the gas, I was already halfway down the road. And by the time I get to the U-turn or whatever, I'm already halfway to my next destination. So I'm like, I'm going to just go ahead and go to the next store. That's the same exact store that I was going to go to by my house. So I go there, I pull up or whatever, and there was this big white work truck there or whatever, and it had some guys in it or whatever. So when I pull up to the gas pump or whatever, I go in my purse, get my wallet and everything out or whatever, and I'm finna get ready to go in to pay for my gas. So before I get ready to go inside the store, you know what I'm saying, I gotta get the key out the ignition, grab my purse and all that good stuff or whatever. Really, I was just grabbing my wallet because I was gonna run in, grab me a drink, pay for some gas up, and then the meat store that I needed to go to was literally right across the road from this store. So I don't know why I didn't just decide that I was gonna get the gas from this store anyway. But anyhow, it worked out. That's why I gassed up at, okay? So I get out the car. Well, before I get out the car, I see the guy that walks past my car. Well, he walks past going to his work truck or whatever. He didn't necessarily have to walk past my car because he was kind of parked, not cat corner, but you know, he was. How can I explain it? However, he was parked at the gas pump. He didn't have to literally walk in front of my car. He could have just walked straight out, you know, to get into his truck or whatever. So I see him when he walked by, but I ain't paying no mind because, you know, these days when I'm out in public and stuff, I don't be looking at people. I don't be trying to get no eye contact. I don't be trying to do nothing because at this time, I wasn't really looking for nothing. But I had thought about, you know, getting back on the dating scene or whatever every now and then or whatever, but it wasn't gonna be today. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't thinking that today I was gonna get a number and talk to somebody or whatever, but it ended up happening. So he goes to his truck. Now, from my knowledge, because I'm not paying attention, I thought this man done pulled off and left already or whatever. Because I did see him, walking to his truck or whatever. I ain't paying no mind. I look at people all the time. So you know how you just see things out your peripheral? That's how it was for me. So I'm digging in my purse, and then I just happen to look up, and I see the guy walking across to go get in his truck or whatever. I ain't thinking nothing of it. I ain't paying no mind. I'm just here to get some gas. So by this time, I done went inside. I'm getting my gas, and I'm getting my drink or whatever. So I done paid for my gas, and I'm coming back out the store. I'm going to pump my gas now, and so, like I said, I had a drink. So I put the drink in the car first. Then I pump my gas. So the whole while I'm pumping the gas, I don't see this guy. Now I'm done pumping the gas. I get in the car and I'm finna turn my music on because before I pull out of the parking lot, this is just what I do. I turn my music on before I drive off. And so that's what I was doing. I was putting my wallet back in my purse and putting my phone on whatever song that I'm looking for so I could drive off like I normally do. Because at this point, I ain't studying nobody. I'm telling you, I thought this man was gone. So while I'm sitting there fumbling with my phone, trying to, figure out what song I'm finna play or whatever, all of a sudden I see him walk across my car. And so I just happened to look up because once again, in my peripheral, I'm looking at my phone and I can see him walk past or whatever. So when I look up at him, he catches my eye and then he starts doing this. And so I'm just like, because in my mind, I'm like, okay, that might be one of my students' parents or whatever. So I have not met all of the students' parents, but I do know that they know who I am or whatever, and I just may not have met them or whatever. And so I was thinking the man was one of my students' parents. And so till he turned around when I said hi back, he turned around and came on to the car. So he walks over to the car and he was like, man, I promised myself I wasn't going to do this. He was like, but you were so beautiful and I just had to come over here and let you know. He was like, and so I was wondering if I could get your phone number or whatever. I just think that you're very beautiful. So first thing I asked the man is, first of all, are you married? And he was like, nah, holding up his hands real quick and everything. Nah, I ain't married. I ain't got nobody. I'm good. So I'm just like, and he's like, why you look at me like that? I was like, because people be lying. People be around here talking about they ain't got no wife and got a whole wife and kids and everything at home. So that's why I'm looking at you like that. I say, because you might be lying. I said, your ring might be in your pocket. Or he was like, nah, I can promise you. He was like, I wouldn't even step to you if I was married. He was like, I promise you, I'm not married. I'm looking for my wife. I ain't married. I ain't got nobody. So I'm like, okay, or whatever. And so he was just like, so is it cool if I get your number or whatever? And I'm just like, what the heck? I'm going to just go ahead and give him my number because, you girl ain't been on the dating scene in a whole year. So I'm just like, I don't know. Let me try something different. And so I give him my phone number and I'm sitting there asking myself, what, in my exact words, what the fuck are you doing, girl? And so I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe I just gave this man my phone number. Like, what are you thinking? You know what I'm saying? So something was trying to come over me at that time, but it was just cute to me at that point because I'm like, okay, he asked for my number or whatever. He probably ain't even gonna call me or whatever. And so I be dog. I pull off, we exchange numbers or whatever. He calls me instantly. And so this situation took place for like a month. This only happened in 1 month. So he instantly called me and we've been video chatting ever since that day. We had not stopped talking to each other since that day and seeing each other ever since that day or whatever. And so it's like, so like I said, we gonna get to I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm trying not to spoil anything or whatever. So I'm trying to tell the story or whatever. So from this point, once we exchange numbers or whatever, we have been talking video chat every time we talk. We text and we video chat. So he instantly calls me or whatever and just making sure that he got the right number. He asking questions or whatever. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of running errands and stuff right now. So, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to just like text me and let me get back to, your messages later or whatever. And so he did that. We was texting and just asking each other questions and things like that. Because now at this time I'm across the road at the meat store. So now I need to go in there and talk to these people about a case of chicken. So I need to, go in here and handle my business or whatever. So I do that. We text all day or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just having normal, regular conversation. He was sweet. He was respectful. Listen, he wasn't giving off no red flags because I guess I tuned it out because he said he was single. And so I assumed that he was being honest And I'm going to take my accountability because that's what narcissists do. But when you, I don't know, I guess I was hoping that he was normal and it wasn't a narcissist. I was in my mind thinking, okay, I finally found somebody regular. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I didn't feel like he was love bombing me or anything like that. I felt like the guy was being genuinely honest or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And for the most part, he was up until he dropped the bomb on me or whatever. And so it was like, I'm thinking to myself, this guy is pretty great. He's pretty cool, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to just take my time with it. I ain't going to rush into nothing, but, you know, I actually don't see a problem with getting to know him or whatever. And so, you know what I'm saying? We talking every day. Like I said, we talking every single day. So we're asking each other different questions and different things like that. At this point, he is as single as I am. So there's no need for me to be, you know, like on guard or anything like that. Like I can just, you know, kind of chill or whatever because he's a single man and I'm a single woman and we ain't doing nothing wrong here. So if you understand what I'm saying, like I had no reasons to think that he was with somebody or that he was a narcissist because everything was cool from the jump. You know what I'm saying? It was respectful. He wasn't putting a rush on me or nothing like that. Everything was just like smooth sailing. And I was feeling that because I'm just like, good. I ain't feeling rushed into nothing. We ain't talking about nothing off the wall. We're just like really getting to know each other. And I was cool with that. I was feeling that. So, you know what I'm saying? He got me. He got my attention. So I'm just like, okay, this feels nice. Like, I ain't been, you know, I can roll with this. This is cool. I like how we flowing right now. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was thinking. And so he was feeling me, I was feeling him, and everything was good, you know what I'm saying? So we just chopping it up. So he asked me what I had planned for the next day, which the next day would have been Friday because that was a Thursday. June 17th was a Thursday that I met him. And so that Friday I was going to be selling the dinners. Well, Friday and Saturday I was going to be selling those dinners or whatever. And so he asked me, well, what you got planned for tomorrow? Maybe we can go on, you know, walk around the park or whatever, or, you know, go somewhere, sit and talk or whatever, grab a drink or something or whatever. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna be selling dinners tomorrow and Saturday or whatever. I was like, so I'm gonna be busy doing that. He was like, oh shoot, you selling dinners? He was like, well, what you gonna have on the menu? Can I buy a plate from you? Yeah, you can buy a plate, sir. I'm not gonna turn down. You're supporting me, you know what I'm saying? You want to get a plate, sir? Yes, you want a plate. You can get a plate. So he was just like, well, what's gonna be on the menu? So I told him what was gonna be on the menu. He was like, okay, put me down for 2 plates. I was like, okay. So he did. He supported. He came through. He got his plates or whatever. Well, he didn't come through. I took him the plates or whatever because he ended up having to work or whatever. And so I just took him the plates because I was doing delivery anyway. So harmless. Nothing wrong with this or whatever. The guy he was cool. So he ended up buying plates from me or whatever, and that went by smooth. You know what I'm saying? He gave me a little extra because he, you know, he wanted to be nice. So I'm like, all right, go ahead, sir, do your big one. You know what I'm saying? Not that that was too major or whatever, but I'm just saying he came through and showed love. But now when I'm looking at it from a narcissist standpoint, it's like, you know, yeah, let me show her a little more, you know what I'm saying, to have her sucked in because he probably thought I was a gold digger or something and thought that that's what I was looking for. But I'm out here hustling, sir, so it ain't about your money, you know what I'm saying? You need funds to be with me, but I'm just saying it ain't about you having money that's gonna, you know, lock me in or anything like that. So he came through, like I said, and he supported, he bought plates or whatever, and that was cool, that was wonderful or whatever. And at this point, he's still being respectful. This day 2 or whatever. It went on and on and on with just, you know, just sitting on the phone talking. And, you know, we would like meet up here and there or whatever, you know, do little quick stop bys just to say hey and, you know, give each other a hug or something like that. But it wasn't nothing serious going on. It's just that the vibe was awesome in my eyes. So, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't have any inklings at this moment that I might be dealing with a narcissist. Just, I was like caught up in the vibe, y'all. So next day comes, which is Saturday or whatever, and then, you know, so I spent that day selling dinners too or whatever. And after I sold dinners or whatever, we met up at the gas station. You know what I'm saying? Never at my house or whatever like that. We just met up at different places, at the park, at the Wawa, at whatever. You know what I'm saying? We just met up different places or whatever like that. And we were always around people and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even nothing major going on with me and this person or whatever. It was just us getting to know each other. But dang, man, you could have just told me from the jump, you know what I'm saying, instead of carrying it on, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to get there. So it just was like, I wouldn't have thought that the guy was a narcissist or whatever. So time goes on. So now we're going to get to the meat and potatoes, because like I said, it's just been conversation after conversation after conversation, and it ain't been a whole lot of anything else going on. You know what I'm saying? Might have shared a kiss or whatever, a kiss or two. We did some hugging and we did some kissing or whatever. It didn't go no further than that. So, you know what I'm saying? We feeling each other at this point or whatever. And so now, here we are. I'm gonna say that the fourth week, he comes out and tells me he has a girlfriend. But she lives in New York or whatever, and it's not that serious, and he wants to, he looking for somebody else or whatever, and you know, things ain't working out between them or whatever. So I'm just like, oh man, dang. I'm like, you know what? I knew you was too good to be true. It just had to be, because why? Why wouldn't it be? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, now this is where I made the mistake. This is where I take the accountability, because once he told me that, I should have left him completely alone. I shouldn't have been his friend. I shouldn't have kept talking to him after that or whatever, because in my mind, he's saying that he don't want to be in that situation no more. So I'm just like, well, I could just be friends with him because he is cool. I like hanging out with him and all this stuff. So I'm like, we'll just be friends. You know what I'm saying? I cut these little feelings off or whatever, and we'll just be friends. But there's going to be boundaries that we can't cross as friends and things like that or whatever. And so he game for it, you know what I'm saying? But that's where I take the accountability for sticking around, because at that point I should have been gone out the door, exit stage left, like I've been telling y'all. Yeah, when that moment came, baby, I didn't exit stage left. I was like, dang, I'm feeling this dude, I'm liking his energy. So you know what I'm saying, I was enjoying it, no lie. I was enjoying the compliments, I was enjoying the laughs, the just hanging out, I was feeling the whole vibe. And I didn't low-key want to, like, you know, drop the whole vibe thing. You know what I'm saying? I can go ahead and pull back from wherever I was trying to go with this situation. But now I would just hold on to you for, you know, a friend or whatever, because I like the vibes that we got going on or whatever. But that's where I was wrong. He said he got somebody, I should have left. That's when my self-respect should have came into play. But it wasn't registering then. I was enjoying what I was enjoying, and I'm just keeping it real. It didn't kick in at that time. But as time went on, because we took it to a friendship level or whatever, and it was getting complicated in between there too. But you know what I'm saying, I was still like, nah, we just friends. We ain't gonna talk like that. You can't look at me like that no more or whatever. So basically teasing each other, but I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I ain't got no reason to lie to y'all. I'm just telling y'all what your girl was feeling at that time and what your girl wanted to do. But the point of the story is that at the end of the day, I didn't lose anything. I walked away, and I felt that I needed to love myself a lot better. And so I did. I cut it off or whatever. So, I'm getting sidetracked. And this video is 19 minutes long too. So yeah, I was feeling it. I was straddling the fence, y'all. And so it was hard to let him go because I'm still not thinking he's a narcissist at this time. And he did one little thing that made me feel like he was a narcissist at that moment. But in this, I still wasn't seeing that, this is a move that a narcissist would make. So you can get caught up in the moment. You really can. And because I thought that this test was going to happen with somebody from my past, I was prepared for that. I wasn't prepared for a new one. I wasn't. This was, this one threw me for a whole loop, baby. I wasn't ready for this one, but I'm glad I got the lesson and I was able to, go ahead and make the moves that I needed to make, because clearly if I wouldn't have took the stance to walk away, he wouldn't stop me. He will continue having my fake best friend, my fake friend over here, and I still got my girl on the back end. He would have kept that, because all he was thinking in his mind probably was that, well, if I can get her to do that, I can get her to do other things. And what I told y'all, I don't want no man that got somebody already. I want a man that's single, just like me. Ain't got no worries. He ain't gonna have no issues when it comes to me. I don't have nobody on the backside that I can, I ain't got a plan B in the background, basically. So why do I want to be with somebody who got a plan B? Who already came to the situation with somebody? So he lied to me from the jump, because I asked, did you have a wife? Just because I asked, did you have a wife, don't mean that excludes a girlfriend. Girlfriends are included too, sir. You were supposed to tell me you had a girlfriend too. Girlfriend, wife, side chick, whatever you got going on. If I ask you, is you single and you got somebody, you tell people, no, I ain't single. You got some people out there who wouldn't mind being a side chick or, just playing with you or whatever. But when you get somebody who wants something, come on, be real. You know what I'm saying? So I went to moving as if he was a single man, and he wasn't. He had somebody. So after we tried this friendship thing or whatever, my morals and my standards and all that stuff is playing in my head like, girl, this is the same junk you was doing with the last narcissist. He had somebody and you were sitting on the outside of the window looking in on that situation. You finna sit here and do the same thing? So I had to have like a come to myself moment. Yes, your girl was sitting here talking to herself, because I had to get Shalissa back. Because for a minute I had to bump my head and lost my marbles for a minute there, and I had to pick myself back up, because baby, girl, you better than this. You don't work too hard to get where you are right now, to sit here and let somebody else come in and play with you like that. We ain't finna do that. No, ma'am. Get yourself together. Wake up, honey. Get out of the fog. Come on, get out of the dream, wherever you at. Come on, it's time for you to get back to you. And I literally had to sit there and do that to myself. I had to take myself to that mirror, tell myself how beautiful I am, tell myself that, girl, you is that chick. Ain't no way you can slice it or dice it. You that chick. You know what you bring to the table. Hell, you is the table and the chairs. You can bring a lot. You need somebody who gonna meet you halfway, baby. And this ain't meeting you halfway. This already taken. This somebody else's problem. I want my own, not in that manner, but I want my own problems. I want my own man. I don't want to be sharing nobody. And that's what I was walking into. If I'd have continued talking about being friends with this guy, I would have ended up being a pick me, or somebody he could play with while he still got what he got. Just some more supply. We ain't doing that. So your girl fumbled, but your girl got back up. Because then I'm sitting here and yeah, I'm being his friend or whatever. And, but everything that I had set for myself is ringing back in my head like, girl, this ain't what you want. This is not what you went through all of this stuff to build yourself up for. This is not what you did all that for, just to fall backwards. And so that was like burning in my head. And so you know what God did? Because he already know. He knew you needed an extra push. So he sent a phone call to you. You ain't even expecting to talk to this person that day. And so the phone rings, and it's my sister, Life with Tashana. My sister, Life with Tashana, gonna give it to me blood raw, real every single time. She gonna tell me what it is that I need to know and help me stay on focus, because she loves me, not because she don't want to see me happy, not because she bitter or anything like that. No, because she know where her sister has been and where her sister is going, and she know what her sister had set for herself. And so God sent my sister to help me while I'm trying to remind myself of who the heck I am. He sent her over to help remind me some more. And so she made things just a little bit clearer for me, and it was just what I needed to do what I needed to do. And so when she called, I'm like, please don't ask me about it. Please don't ask me about it, because she knew. You know what I'm saying? I had told her what was going on. You know what I'm saying? I told her about the guy or whatever. And so she knew what I had already told her or whatever. And so for her, that's a turnoff that he got a girlfriend. And it's a turnoff that my sister is actually still dealing with this guy, knowing he got a girlfriend. And knowing that she waiting on her husband. Ain't no need for her to be sitting here entertaining this guy here when you waiting on what you say you was waiting on. Stick to the script that you said you was gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So he sent her in, and you know what I'm saying, when I talk to her, we keep it real and 100 with each other. We don't sit here and play these games and lie and play with each other emotions and stuff, thinking we lying to each other or whatever. We don't do that. So she called, and when she on the phone, I'm like, ooh, I hope she don't ask me about him, so I ain't gotta tell her no lie, cause baby, she ain't gonna like it. You know what I'm saying? It's not that it matters what she thinks or whatever. I'm just saying, I ain't gonna be able to lie. You know what I'm saying? So I just didn't want her to ask about it. So she did. Before we hang up the phone, she said, so what's up with you and the little boy? She didn't say little boy. I just didn't want to say his name. But she's like, what's up with you and old dude? And I'm like, dang, why she here to ask me about him? So I went on here, so I said, y'all, we just friends, you know what I'm saying? I ain't ready to, cut it off, but I'm trying to change out these headphones because the phone trying to die. So she was like, what's up with you and old dude or whatever? And I was like, we just friends, and you know what I'm saying, blase, because at this point she know he got a girl or whatever. And so she was just like, sis, she's like, I ain't gonna lie to you, you know what I'm saying? But God used her to give me just what I needed to make that move. And so after that conversation, I was like, because after I said my prayer or whatever, I'm like, Lord, give me confirmation, you know what I'm saying? And boom, she calls in and she dropping all this confirmation, all the things that I've already been talking to God about. She just came in and confirmed all that stuff. So I'm telling you, baby, as soon as I got off the phone with with sister girl, I'll call him back. He ain't answer the phone. So I'm just like, well, I guess at this point I'm just gonna go ahead and ghost the dude, because at this point it's a done deal. It's a wrap. I got my confirmation and I ain't finna play with it. And she said something, well, I said it to her, and she was like, I was about to say the same thing. I was like, you know what I'm saying, me sitting here holding on to him who already got somebody, what if this is holding up my husband? You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, yeah, nah, we ain't finna do that. She was like, well, what are you willing to let go to get what you want? And when she said that, I'm like, oh, baby, there ain't nothing to cut that off. Honey, I'm finna cut this thing off in a quick, fast, in a hurry. Not that I'm thirsty for a husband, but I have set goals for myself. I've set different things out for myself, and in that moment, I was not ready to forget about those things, but I was sidetracked enough that I was falling off my path that I was on. And so, you know what I'm saying, we be thinking that when these tests come around, that they just gonna be so easy like that. I feel like if it was with somebody, if it was with the past, I probably would have passed with flying colors, and I still passed this test. So let's not get that twisted. I still passed this test because I could have been still going on in this whirlwind with this situation, but I'm not. I cut it off just like that. Cut it off because it was already playing in my head and playing in my spirit bad to go ahead and get rid of this thing. And so I went on ahead got the extra confirmation that I need, and I went on ahead and I did the dang on thing. So after I get off the phone with her, I call him. He don't answer. So I'm just like, well, I guess I'm finna ghost the dude at this point, because hey, I tried to call and tell him face to face or whatever, but he didn't answer the phone. And so when he hit me back, it was like later on that night or whatever. And so at that point, I'm like, I ain't doing no more talking, so I'm good. So next day come, he do his normal ritual in the morning time, send me a text, then he'll call, then he'll text or whatever. And so, well, if I don't answer the phone, he'll, text or call me again or whatever. But not nothing like, hounding me, calling me or whatever. But he'll send a text. If I don't respond to that text, then he'll call me. And if I don't respond to that call or something like that, he'll text me again or something like that. So he did that. I ain't respond. So he sent a message back saying beef. I said, nah, no beef. Just this gotta be done right here, what we got going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and go my way. You go your way. You do you, and I'm gonna do me. And that's it. Then he hit me back, and this is the moment when I felt like, oh, he is a narcissist. He hit me back with the same thing my ex did to me. Okay, take care. Well, you ain't finna sit here and act like... But that's how I felt at the moment. We keeping it real. That's how I felt. That pissed me off when he did that right now. I'm like, oh, I know who this is. This the same spirit, just a different body. I'm like, oh, snap. He a narcissist. When I discarded the other narcissist, he hit me with the same message, but his one a little different, but the same exact words. He said, once I told him I'm done with him, I'm closing this chapter, I don't want to be with him no more, I'm not going to waste my time, blase, blase. He said, okay, enjoy life and take care. So when he said, okay, take care, that made me go back to the other nurses, and I'm like, oh, I know who this is now. Yeah, this the same spirit, just a different body. And then I'm sitting here like, me and my sister like, yeah, girl, you got tested. It was a test. And I'm telling you, it was like, he was amazing in my eyes, you know what I'm saying? But up until that moment, I didn't think he was a narcissist until he said that. So that's what your girl went through, y'all. That happened in the matter of a month. So I'm so glad that I passed this test. I had my little mistakes. I fumbled a bit or whatever, but I still was able to pick myself back up, find me, and walk away. And didn't have no qualms about it. Oh, baby, I recognize this. I'm finna go ahead and go, because I want better for me. I don't want to live like I used to live. I don't want to be nobody's second anything, baby. Make me your one and only. If I can't be your one and only, and that's what I'm giving you, we ain't got nothing to talk about. I don't want to be second. I want to be first. So, unless it's up against God, I come second to God, baby. But to anybody else, no, not when I'm coming and you getting me and I'm by myself. I don't have no backup plans. Yeah, I want the same respect in return. So he couldn't give me what I needed, and I needed to let it go, because I'm looking for certain stuff. I want certain things in my life, and so I had to let it go so I can get what I needed. But it was a test. It wasn't going to go anywhere anyway. So y'all be careful. Keep your eyes open, you know what I'm saying? If you fumble a little bit, it's okay, as long as you get back up. Find you, learn the lesson, and don't make that mistake no more. You good, baby. And I don't care who be like, oh no, you failed this test horribly. Say what you wanna, but I passed this test because I'm nowhere near where I was 4 years ago or a year ago. I'm in a different place, and can't nobody tell me nothing about where I'm at in my season right now, because I know I passed this test. I may have had a little fumble and a little mistakes, but I ain't made the mistakes that I made back then. I know I ain't did that. So I'm proud of myself. I'm going to pat myself on the back, baby, because this ain't going to be the only test that I go through. I'm sure of that. But I really thought that I was finna go through the test with the old ones, baby, because I was ready to pass that test. But then he threw a new one in on me. And that had me like, dang, you going to test me with a new one, Lord? I thought you was going to bring back one of these old ones. Let me go ahead and 1-2 piece stay behind real quick up out of here. That would have ended in a day, the same phone call. Or however it came, it would have ended that day. It would have took a matter of minutes for them to get up off my phone or get up out my face real quick. But he sent somebody new in there to test your girl. And I fumbled, but I still passed that test. And that's all you got to do, baby. You got to live your life. You have to learn these lessons, because if you don't learn the lesson, the test gonna come back again. And so I'm thankful for the journey. I'm thankful for the test. I'm thankful for passing the test. I learned my lesson though. Baby, pay more attention. All right. I love y'all. Have a great night. Fall in love with yourself. And remember, I love you. And ain't nothing you can do about it.